Welcome everyone. Thank you all for coming. And I'm honored to be the chair of today's meeting. I'm Anna Fedas, working for the Stefan Battery Foundation and taking care of the bilateral and regional communication cooperation. And today we are going to have wonderful examples from Norway on how to deal with the COVID-19 outbreak results and how to take care of vulnerable groups in the local communities. And I'm really happy and excited that we'll have 4 wonderful presentations from 4 different organizations. So we have with us Faridah Nabaggala from the Abloom organization. We have Elsa Skjong from the FRI, the Norwegian Organization for Sexual and Gender Diversity. We have Henrik Gronert from the municipality of Kristiansand. And we have Ingvild and Annette Kristin Himmelsen from the LIN. And so we will have their presentations one another, and while they're presenting, that's your time for you. You can write on chat your questions, and then the panelists can refer to and try to answer these questions. If you have any other questions when it comes to regarding our program, Active Citizens Fund National, please write it on chat. We just launched our second call for proposals on thematic projects, so we'll be happy also to answer them. We have separate webinars on this topic, but still we can also try to help you with all the information on the call for proposals. Okay, so let's start. I would like to welcome and give the floor to Faridah Nabaggala from the Abloom organizations. So floor is yours, Faridah.
Thank you so much, and thank you for you have given us this opportunity to be here and participate in this wonderful meeting. My name is Faridah Nabaggala. I am the founder of Abloom. Abloom is in Oslo. We are situated in Oslo, and we are a Norwegian advocacy NGO raising awareness about creating meaningful and empowering activities. Does everybody hear me? Can you see my screen? Thank you. Okay.
Yes, we can.
Perfect. Okay, we work, at least we are doing lots of activities for people living with disabilities in general, especially children and youngsters. Those are our main target groups, and we have a special focus on the ethnic minorities living with disability in Oslo and Norway in general, especially children and youngsters, refugees, asylum seekers in Norway living with disability, and families, and of course the support and network of all that is above mentioned. We also communicate and engage with governmental and non-government organizations, private businesses, and other areas of society to fight together for a better life for people with disabilities. So we've at least run an organization. What we are very known for is the film festival, as I found it in 2012, to be more than that, during the years. So actually in 2020, we are 9 years this year. So we'll be celebrating our jubilee next year. We have a lot of activities. Abloom Film Festival is the biggest of the activities we have, and it's always in November. And this year we have started an initiative where we would like to engage more people into our work, and in order for them to support and help, especially minorities who are struggling with taboos. Taboos will mean that maybe some people say it's a shame that they have the disabled. The others would say it's a divine punishment. So people actually are struggling with this kind of stigma from their own societies, the small societies they live in, or from the countries they come from. It's very common that people with disabilities actually being seen that way. Many of them have no rights, and when they come to Norway, they don't even know that they have rights in Norway and that the situation here is different. So we try our best to help many people out there, because in most cases there are children involved. And if a mother or a family, they think this is a shame to keep their child away from the society, so they will keep that child away from society, and they will not be able to take, any advice, even help, even take them out and participate in the society. So we trying to bring these people out in the best way we can. And through our activities, of course. So we try to do the best, and our mission is to create awareness of equal rights and opportunities for all at all times. And because I'm going to talk about a little bit of what we have done regarding the taboos, and then I'll go forward to what actually has happened in 2020 regarding COVID-19. During the years, because of many parents and the disabled people have come, they found their way to us, and they told us that they were struggling with many people trying to confirm to them, or they are like maybe doing it unintentionally, saying that the child they got or the person in the family they have who is disabled, it was because of something the parents had done, whether it's a kind of karma that is getting them for whatever bad things they had done, or maybe God is trying to punish them for something they've done. So many people have been struggling with this, and the kids themselves, when they're out in meeting places like, for example, mosques or temples, so they get this, stigma and very bad reactions from other kids and also grown-ups. They say, we don't want you here. You're ugly. We want you gone. We wish you were dead. You see, children can be very mean. And this has actually gone into many, and affected many children who are disabled, and they don't want to be in places of that kind. Once they can associate that place with this kind of negativity, they will never be back. So we decided to start something called a declaration, where we started the project in 2018, where we have summoned all religious leaders from different beliefs to come together and sign a declaration stating that disability is not a divine punishment. And we did that. It's been great. We've got also ministers on board and other politicians. So we are working very hard with that campaign, and hopefully maybe you guys can join it in one way or the other. That is very short about what we do. And then we came to 2020. We heard about Corona in 2019, and it was like so far away from Europe. And okay, Corona, that's in China, fine. But then Corona came to Europe, and in Norway, it got very serious already in early March. So everything was closed down, and people were like confused. What are we gonna do? And so many things happened in a very short time. Talk about restrictions and the lockdown and all that information that was streaming in without anyone actually have thought about how are we gonna try to make this information available for everybody to understand. And how about the disabled? How about the minorities who actually cannot master the language they should do? So that was not taken in consideration when the information came out so quickly. I can understand there were so many things happening in a very short time, and that people did not get time to actually think that they had to think about other people in the society. So when all this information came very quickly, we automatically got this tremendous calls from people who are confused and saying, what's going on in the society? We don't know what's happening. We don't understand what's out there. And most of these groups, either they're disabled or they're the minorities, those are people who are not always sitting and watching TV and following the news update and stuff. So when all this information came, everyone was expected to actually follow them and obey them and understand them and whatever, but that was not the case. So what we did already in March, we jumped in without any help from anybody and began making games. We decided to get that information from the government that was about COVID-19, and we tried to interpret it and made our own information material through games, maybe, for example, a puzzle, where a child and a mother could sit down and they could puzzle the whole restriction in pictures down to a puzzle. All these puzzles, you can find them under Abloom Play, by the way. Some of them are already here under Abloom for Kids. So you can actually go in. We are writing in Norwegian, sorry. Puslespill means puzzle. And we have, of course, lead bucket. These are books that you can actually hear if you want to. Then we have quizzes, we have memory games. This is Minnespill. And we have also a lot of other stuff. We have also created videos. So many things have been happening. And of course, I was supposed to be an author sometime next year, but this year I decided to write a book because all the information was coming so quickly and there were so many restrictions. The children could not understand what was going on. They were asking their mothers and parents are saying, why can't I hug my friends? Why can't they come to my birthday? Why am I not in school? They couldn't understand what was going on. So I decided, I said, everyone is talking about Corona, but Corona has never got a chance to talk about himself. And that is sad. So I decided to write a book about Corona where he was introducing himself to the kids. And that was very interesting. So we had a launch with that book. It was in September when we first launched it, but we got this tremendous response in return. Everyone was like amazed and shocked, and it was amazing for them to finally put a picture on Corona, as he has only been talked about, but he has never got a chance to talk about himself. And that was very interesting for everybody to watch. So we introduced him and he had to tell everybody how his life and how his past was and how he's trying to take over the whole world. So everybody had to actually go into that spirit and try to fight against him. It's a very interesting little book. We have also available in English. We have translated it now in how many languages? Let me see, it should be here. We have translated it in 20 languages. This is the video. Of course, it's in Norwegian. Sorry about that, but there is an English version here. But if you see, we have a bookcase here, and these are all the language we have translated in. So if you want to listen to it, you can listen it to Arabic, Urdu, Somali, Turkish, and Norwegian, and of course English. How long do I have? Can I play the video?
If it's short or
it is short, it is short.
Yeah. So
it's around a minute.
Okay, so of course, and I'm amazed with the idea, by the way. So yeah, let's try the movie.
Okay, it's very short. I just need to find. Aha, here it is. It's a very fast book here. Okay, it's taking its time as usual. Here we are.
A story about coronavirus by Faridah S. Nabaggala. A story. Hello, my name is coronavirus. This is my family, Mommy Flu and Daddy SARS. I have often been told by my family that I spend too much time alone. You have to make some friends. One day, the whole world will be mine. The best way for me to get in touch with others is through groups. That is, through spitting, coughing, drinking from the same glass, hugging and kissing helps me to infect as many as possible. The best way for me to get in touch with others, and I love close contact. Now, I want to travel worldwide and infect all humans. What do you think about me? Draw what you feel. My worst fear is if people stay at home, wash their hands, and keep their distance. I will lose all my great power. I am dangerous, and as time goes by, my powers grow stronger. But just like Superman, I have my weakness. I am afraid of soap and anything that keeps you clean. I can only infect people when they are in close contact. But that is why it is very important to keep our distance, wash your hands often, and cough or sneeze in our elbows. For more information, go into www.fhi.no. No, don't do that!
Yes, that was all about Corona book, and it has been very, it's been a very success, and we have shown it to more than soon 1 million people have got this information, and it's been amazing, the all response people have been giving in return, both those who are disabled, their children, and the other people. They said this is the best way to give that kind of information about something that is so important, that has actually affected the whole world in the best way possible, to get everybody involved. So this is what we've been doing technically.
Thank you very much. I almost felt like sorry for the virus, and started sympathize with him to actually let him have more friends. So yeah, so thank you very much. Extremely interesting example of how to face immediately and adapt to the situation and face the challenge that we have now. So thank you for that. And of course, Faridah stays with us. So if you have any questions, you can still ask her on chat, using our chat. And let's move to another presentation. I'm just looking at the chat if we have any questions to you that are asked now. But if not, of course, we can have it later and refer to it later. And I would like now to give the floor, actually give the screen, to Elsa Skjong, sorry for mispronouncing your name, from the FRI, Norwegian Organization for Sexual and Gender Diversity. So Elsa.
Thank you so much. It's really great to be here. And I have to say, I also, like so many in the chat, love that book. That was amazing, Faridah. Thank you for showing that. Try to share my screen here, and Anna, please let me know if it looks wonky, if you're seeing my my notes when I get it up here. Let's see.
We see the, oh yeah, now it's full screen.
Now it's good. Great. All right, yeah, so thanks again. My name is Elsa. I work as the kind of in-house legal advisor of our organization, as well as being the manager of Pink Competency Justice, which is our project working against hate crimes. And I'll be mostly talking about that today, so I hope that's okay. And I'll of course say a little bit about how our work in general at FRI, and as well with our work against hate crimes, has been affected since March, which Faridah mentioned is when things really locked down here in Norway. So Pink Competency Justice is part of the organization FRI, and FRI has existed for 70 years now. FRI is the largest membership organization in Norway for gender and sexual diversity, and we have approximately 4,000 members nationwide, divided by 13 local branches. So I work at our central office in Oslo, with about 20 others, so 20 other employees. And I'm the only one at FRI who works specifically with hate crimes. So our daily work and activities at FRI consist of political work, information work, working with local authorities, as well as activities and events for our members and others who would like to join in on them, such as cafes and the Pride festivals, debates, meetings, movie nights, and lots more. We have several choirs, among other things, and lots of activities that usually go on. But all of these were, of course, very affected by the COVID-19. And we are very worried how the lockdown or the lockdowns, we've kind of gone through processes in Norway where it's been kind of more restricted, and then they let go a little bit during the summer months, and then it's been tightened in again. We're very worried about how those lockdowns have affected the well-being of our members, of course, and the community as a whole. We've lost temporarily several very important meeting points that provided safe spaces to meet and share experiences and socialize, of course. And most of this has been tried to substituted by digital meetings, but that hasn't been a sufficient substitute, I think we can say with great certainty, for actual real world meeting points. So we've had to change a lot of how we work and go digital with.
Sorry, Elsa,
yeah.
Excuse me to interrupt you, but it looks like you are showing different slides, or is it still the same one, the first one?
Oh, it's still the same. It's still the same one. So I'm just talking over the same, like, yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
So, because sometimes it doesn't work. Okay, sorry for it.
Yeah, no problem at all. I don't have like a huge amount of slides, so I totally understand why you ask. No, so it's changed a lot of how we work and go digital with a lot since March, especially all these member activities have been greatly affected. And we've tried to have a lot of the Pride festivals. We have several Pride festivals around Norway, and almost all of them were either canceled or we had a digital substitute. So we're hoping that things next year, of course, will get better soon. So now I changed my my picture. It's changed? Great. So the main goal of Pink Competency Justice is to strengthen and streamline the effort against hate crimes, in particular hate crimes directed towards the LGBTIQ community. And we also, within that, work on strengthening the police's general knowledge about gender and sexual diversity. And the elements of Pink Competency Justice course, what we do a lot is coursing, where we talk to the police and inform them on these subjects. The elements we talk about are the ones on the screen now, which is why Pink Competency was formed to begin with, including living conditions for and attitudes towards the LGBTI community as a whole, and how that's changed and how far we still have to go. We talk about gender and sexual diversity to make sure that they have sufficient, or at least some knowledge on these subjects. We talk about norms regarding gender and sexuality and what it means to break the norm, as well as talking about hate crimes. And that's kind of like the red line through all of what we talk about. And Pink Competency Justice was formed in 2010. So we're also pretty soon going to have our 10-year anniversary. And it was formed then because we saw that there was a need for increased knowledge in the police regarding both hate crimes and ensuring that our community actually feels safe enough to report to the police if one has been subjected to a hate crime, or in any other crime or contact one has with the police. And hate crimes were both then and still are incredibly underreported, although there are so many more cases registered today than there were just a decade ago. So it's been a positive development, at least. And allies and important contacts in the police have been essential to us from the beginning, including working out the first course materials, which was very important. We had a couple contacts in the police who helped us with that from the start, but it's been an important part of our work all the way through and was essential to us actually getting started up to begin with, I think I can say. A big part of that was forming a group of collaborators. This group was formed by mapping who could be good allies for us in this work, and from there ensuring a formalized cooperation with each individual. So this group today consists of people from, among others, the Norwegian Police Directorate, the police in Oslo, the police union, and the hate crime unit, which is stationed in Oslo. I'll come back to them in just a sec. And all of these individuals are incredibly important for this work because they ensure legitimacy for our courses. When we go to talk to the police, we can tell them, we can tell the employees that our course material has been made in cooperation with central police figures, which really helps for them listening to us and actually letting us in. And the hate crime unit in Oslo was formed in 2014. So they've been around for some years now, and they register and work on hate crimes that happen in Oslo. And they've been a very important element in increasing the focus on hate crimes, and will hopefully become a nationwide unit soon, because we do see that there's a big difference in how hate crimes are registered and worked on and with throughout Norway. How we work, because we're a membership organization, we get a lot of information on what's going on in our society or with the LGBTI community. So we get a lot of information about that to us as an organization. And underreporting means that the police doesn't necessarily get all the information that we do. So we can therefore act as kind of an intermediary between our community and the police. We've kind of got like a foot in both places. And when we've got a good working relationship with the police like we have today, we can encourage our members to report on these crimes, and also let us know if they have any bad experiences that we should know of and communicate back to the police. So it kind of works back and forth that way. So we can then work with the police in their local communities as well. So all in all, these are the main elements of our work today. The cooperation with important allies in the police, where we let them know also how incredibly important they are, so we get to do what we need to do. There are the courses for the police employees, and just to say that has not come easy, making them prioritize our 2-hour courses during a hectic work life, but we try to use our network here, which goes back to the cooperation again being so important, and we also nag at them a lot for letting us in. As well as that, we do a lot of informational work towards our community. We hold courses on hate crimes in general and provide a safe place to go to if one wants to help from us to report a hate crime. And both the courses for police employees and for our community, they've been done digital this year, and that's worked well. It's been, in a sense, good, I think, because it's been easier to reach out to more people in the whole country when a course is digital. But it doesn't, I mean, it changes kind of how the course is when everything is online. It's not as easy to create those kind of like low, I was going to say like, those little breaks you have in between where someone feels suddenly comfortable enough to tell you about an experience. I think the threshold becomes higher when everything is online to actually feel comfortable sharing things sometimes. So that's of course, something that's been affected right now. So we generally also then work on raising awareness regarding the consequences of hate crimes by engaging in the media, like writing opinion editorials and such, and in political work. And we're also part of a network of organizations who in some way or other work against hate crimes. And in that regard, I just want to mention an incredibly important change that has happened regarding hate crimes in Norway, which we've worked on for a very, very long time, as well as just going quickly through the definition of punishable hate crimes in Norway today. The simplified definition of hate crimes in Norway, as it's been summarized by the hate crime unit, is hate crimes are punishable acts partly or completely motivated by hate or negative attitudes towards religion, spirituality, skin color, nationality, ethnicity, gay orientation, and or disability. So those are the grounds that are covered today and the only grounds that are covered against hate crimes. And in 2018, it was suggested that the wording in the Penal Act be changed so sexual orientation more generally is protected against hate crimes and not gay orientation as it states today. as well as gender identity and gender expression being included. So that was suggested in 2018, and these suggested changes were finally voted on in the parliament this fall, with an overwhelming majority voting yes on them. So these changes will happen. Transgender people will finally be protected against hate crimes in Norway, but they haven't come into force yet. So we're hopefully this will happen by January next year. And then also just wanted to show you guys as a last thing here, just on how the reporting on hate crimes and registered hate crimes have changed over the years. We saw a significant change from 2015 when this hate crime unit came into their work, and there was a lot more focus on hate crimes in general in Norway. So you see from 2015, the total number of registered hate crimes in Norway went from 347 to 761 last year. So it's a big change. And as a motive, sexual orientation there was only 58 registered crimes where that was the ground in 2015, and in 2019 it was 122. And it's hard to say if this increase is due to there actually being more hate crimes. Most likely, most of the increase is because we've gotten a lot better at registering hate crimes in the police. They have a much better understanding of what hate crimes are. And there's been a general focus in Norway on the work against hate crimes, and we've really spent a lot of energy and time trying to raise the awareness on it. But when that's said, the police still think, and we also agree with that the amount of hate crimes reported does not reflect the actual number that happens in Norway today. So we've got quite a ways to go. So that was kind of like a quick recap of pink competency justice. Yeah, our work has absolutely been affected the last year, but the coursework has been able to continue as it should. So we're hoping that we'll get to meet people in person again pretty soon, because that's the absolute best. But yeah.
Thank you very much, Elsa. Like really, I'm amazed with your approach and like the complexity of your of the approach. As I wrote recently on the chat that we hosted actually Abetare from the Oslo police, from this hate crime department on Tuesday on our meeting. So if you would like to go back to this meeting, here is the link on the chat, or it's also available on our Facebook. So you can also like listen to the history, how the police in Oslo, how they got to the point that they have this crime department, and maybe also like it's interesting how it looks from your side as an NGO cooperating with this police department. So that's really interesting to have this like two puzzles, all like two sides. So thank you very much. And if you have any questions to Elsa, please use our chat. I see, Faridah, that there is one question for you actually. So if you'd like to go to read the question and try to answer it, we will have, of course, then time after all presentation for that. And now I would like to give the floor to Henrik Gronert from the municipality of Kristiansand. I'm trying to do my best to pronounce it properly. I know now that I mispronounced the organization Free. I called you Fry, so sorry for that, Elsa. Okay, so now Kim, floor is yours, screen is yours. You could unmute yourself. We can't hear you, Kim. If you could unmute yourself using, for example, the button on the left. Yeah, sorry, because we can't hear you. And I see you are muted.
Okay, now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's, yeah.
Sorry about that.
No, it's okay. It's like technical stuff as usual.
Yeah. Can you all see my presentation now?
Yes, we can, and it's full screen mode, so it's perfect. Thank you.
Thank you. It's a really interesting thing to come and go on these 2 meetings, because I hear a lot of really interesting things from Norway that I didn't know about. So I will be going onto the homepage of Abloom. Of course, I knew about FREE because I live in Kristiansand, which is also the Bible Belt of Norway. So the whole LGBT problem is very visible for us in the south because of a lot of religion connected to how people view this. My presentation is going to be about, I called it reaping the benefits of good relations, how we in the municipality try to cooperate with civil sector in the early period of COVID-19. And I am an advisor for intercultural dialogue, which means that I am employed by the municipality to work towards and together with the immigrant population of Kristiansand. And in Kristiansand, we 1st of January, we had 20,030 that we call immigrants. That number is both people who came to Norway, and if a child is born and has 2 immigrant parents, it would also be in this number. And actually, just since I'm speaking to people from Poland, I understood there are 1,651 Polish people living in Kristiansand, 1st of January this year. There is also actually a Polish organization that's called Razem, I think, which means together, I think, which I also work together with. The question that we in the municipality asked ourselves when I started my job is, are we able to get the immigrants to be visible in the society and be a part of the society? About 60 immigrant organizations we have to date. This has evolved since we started working with it, and the activity is growing. And now we have a lot of contact with immigrant organizations that want to have spaces to have their events. I'm going to talk a bit about the importance of collaboration, and because of that, I'm going to talk about something that happened here 15 years ago. Where we had the rise of neo-Nazis, and they targeted some immigrant societies, especially the Muslim societies, and we had to get together all the public sector people and the Muslim leaders, and we created a platform where we had dialogue. We've been doing this for 15 years and we know each other really well, and this turned out to be very important for us this spring. Because as it's been said, 12th of March, the government initiated the most intrusive measures this country has ever seen in peacetime. It was total lockdown. And as it also was said from Abloom, there really was no information in any other language than Norwegian. And she was very polite about that. I will say it's a scandal that you don't come out with information on other languages than Norwegian, simply because you know that the people who really need to know the information, they did not get it in a language they could understand. During the spring, we had a great effort with the immigrant society. The guy you see on the picture here is the local Somalian imam. When we were done with the worst effects of COVID, we were starting to open the schools again. We knew it would be a problem. He read in all the information from the government in Somali, and we made a video that we sent around. And because of that, we had very few Somalis who did not let their children go back to school. It's really, really important that we use local leaders in this kind of work. The other thing I wanted to say is that when we understood that we were not going to get information in other languages, we are lucky in Kristiansand that we have our own interpreters that are working in the municipality. So we were actually able to translate to 18 different languages, and it was on our pages within a few days. And this made a really big difference, because then we could also get the help from the immigrant society. This is outside the mosque, the biggest mosque in Kristiansand, and they are standing there and giving information to the people who are coming to the mosque who do not speak Norwegian. There are a lot of immigrants from different parts of the world who do not speak Norwegian. But because they had the information in the language they understood, they could also give it on. This, by the way, is a local resident who is getting information in Norwegian from the Somali guy in the mosque. Another thing that we learned is that information goes over the borders. So we started understanding from our collaboration with the local immigrant leaders that people were reading information in their language that originated from other parts of Europe, for example, and even also other parts of the world. And that information was not necessarily in line with what was the situation in Norway at the time. So we really had to get together and both try to find out what kind of information are people reading. One example, for example, the Turkish community was reading information from Turkish authorities, which absolutely was not the same as we were telling people to do in Norway. And the other thing was also that, for example, the Somali society, they have very big WhatsApp groups that are all over Europe and have members from all over Europe, and they are discussing COVID in these groups. And again, they're not getting the same information from the different countries they live in, so they are discussing the validity of the information that they are getting in the different countries. So I thought I would try to make this a bit short and just say that the really, really most important thing that we can do as a municipality is to make sure that we get to know the people that live in our municipality. As I showed you, I think I jumped a picture, but there are 160 different countries living in Norway. And we also have now living in Kristiansand, and we also have very good statistics on how many people from the different groups that are living in our town. So we know the amount of people that might not understand what we are trying to tell them. We need to get to know these people, and we need to get a trust with these people. And we also then need to give them the information that they require in order to be implied to follow the rules and the restrictions that we have. We cannot say they should do that if they don't understand what we are talking about. And then we need to be aware of the information and that it travels over borders. And we need to be innovative. People are not going to read a long document. That's why the book that you showed from Abloom, that was great. And I am going to ask my local Somali leader why he didn't show me this video. And I'm also in this book, and I'm also going to share it now immediately afterwards. And we should also be using, we should also look into which kind of societies are using different medium, like Facebook. A lot of the Balkan society is using Facebook. When it came to the Somali society, they told us that we want to have sound files that don't have that are not big files that we can share on WhatsApp so that people can listen to them. I think it's really important when you want to work with information that you get to know the people who are going to try to inform, because it's not like Norwegian in Norway. When we see the paper, see the news, which most Norwegians follow the news, most immigrants are not looking at Norwegian news. They're looking at news other places. The last picture that you see there is a project that we have in Kristiansand that Toril was talking about also on Tuesday. We have a project called A Town for All, and these ideas are implemented in that way of thinking, that if you really want to be a town for all, you need to make sure that everybody actually feels like a part of the society. And then I'm just going to try to jump back to see if I can find that picture that I wasn't able to show you. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, okay. That was actually what I wanted to say. And if you have any questions, or if you want to take contact with me or the municipality, we will be really happy to collaborate with you in different projects in the future. I think I'll let it go there. Oh, I'm not hearing you.
Thank you very much, Kim.
Yeah.
Thank you for presenting the wonderful approach of your municipality. Actually, I have to visit your city. That that's so wonderful because that's the as Kim mentioned. That's the second presentation from this municipality, and to listening to your approach, and also like the welcoming attitude, and like thinking of all inhabitants in your city, and it's really amazing. So I wish I could live in this kind of city. Yeah.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that the lady, I think she's called Sylvia Balvender. She comes from Poland, and she's been working with NGOs in Poland in some kind of government. I will try to ask her about your cooperation, your company as well.
Of course, wonderful. Thank you very much. And it's always nice to hear that we have so active Poles also abroad. So thank you for that. And of course, if you have any questions to Kim, use our chat. And now we have the last but not least, of course, presentation of the organization called LIN. We have Ingvild and Agnete Kristin Hilmersen. So Ingvild, floor is yours.
Thank you very much. So can you all see my presentation?
Yes, we can, although it's not, now it's
good?
Now it's good, but we see your notes, so that was you wanted us to see it.
Let me see if I can end the show.
Yeah, it worked during our rehearsal.
Yes, it did. So I will do that.
Yeah.
Hold on, I will play from start. Okay.
In the meantime, Elsa, I also see questions to you on chat, by the way.
Okay, is it good now?
Perfect, now it's perfect.
Now it's good? Okay, great. Okay, so thank you so much, Anna Fedas, and to Active Citizens Fund and for Stefan Battery Foundation for organizing this event and for allowing us this opportunity to learn from one another. And it's been really inspiring just to hear from you others how you've been working during this pandemic. So my name is Imika Levik, and I'm here today with my colleagues Agnete Hilmersen and Alexandra Linderud. So we represent LIN, who's an organization whose goal is to increase civic participation of immigrants in the region of Oslo. And today I'm here to share with you how we have responded to the COVID-19 pandemic and how we have cooperated with the public sector. So first of all, I just want to draw a picture of the current situation in Norway. So the public sector, they have prioritized testing at a great scale. So 2.4 million, that's almost half of the population in Norway. And we've had fewer deaths than compared to other countries. And currently, Oslo is the epicenter of the pandemic, and the outbreak has sadly affected disproportionately the immigrant communities, both in Oslo and other areas. And Oslo is in a social lockdown right now because we are experiencing a second wave of outbreak. So I just want to list first some examples of cooperation between public sector and NGOs, including our own. So I must say that the public sector in Norway, they've been great at making an effort to cooperate with NGOs and faith communities and key people just to spread out the word about infection control and just to prevent the outbreak. So one example is just immediately after the first outbreak, in the spring, the Somali communities in Oslo were deeply affected by the COVID-19 virus. So the city of Oslo, they cooperated with this Norwegian Somali newspaper / radio called Norsom News, and they translated a ton of information into Somali. And what they actually were able to do was to flatten the curve. So it proved very effective. And their efforts were actually, they qualified as a top 3 nominee for an important award in Norway. We also, we had the pleasure of getting invited to the Norwegian office of the Prime Minister, alongside with other NGOs in Norway. And we were there to discuss our initiatives, but also to come forth with solutions on how to prevent an increase of outbreak in Norway. And some of the initiatives we had, the Islamic Council of Norway, they have translated brochures and videos into 11 languages. We had the Catholic Church, they saw the need of a Polish helpline for Polish workers in Norway. And then you had the Somali Council of Tromsø, who have dubbed press conferences into Somali. And there's also another example would be the cooperation between the Directorate of Health and the Islamic Council of Norway when it comes to infection control guidelines during the celebration of Eid, which proved effective. And for us, it's been really important for our organization just to use our voice when we've been in dialogue with the public sector, that immigrants, they form it's a very diverse group. And we've also we have used our voice to put forth that there's been more stigma towards immigrant communities during the outbreak. So in the beginning, it was especially towards the Somali communities, and later on it's been during the second wave, it's been more against the Polish. Then other examples would be that the Norwegian Institute of Public Health, they're the institute who are providing advice and information to the government as they make their decisions on infection control. So they have taken initiative to create a forum for cooperation between NGOs and the public health sector. And they've done that every 2 weeks since the very beginning. Further on, the Norwegian government has put in place a group of experts about raising awareness about infection control in immigrant communities. And we have participants like the Directorate of Immigration and Diversity, the Directorate of Immigration. We also have NGOs like Caritas, which I'm sure you're familiar with, but also other Norwegian organizations like, for example, Mira, which is a resource center for women with immigrant background. So we have, all in all, experienced that the government and the public sector have valued the cooperation with NGOs and faith communities and have actively sought out our support. However, there are a few things we would like to see more of. We would like to see more of just a coordination of a multilingual information campaign, because right now it's been mostly fragmented in Norway. We would like to see dubbing of press conferences. And we would also like to see that health workers would get more intercultural knowledge So who are we in NIN? So it stands for likestilling, inkludering og nettverk. And in English, that means equality, inclusion, and network. So our goal is to encourage civic participation of immigrants in the Oslo area through courses and work training and outreach. And we advocate for civic participation of immigrants on a national level. We were founded in 2009 by Bibi Musavi. And from the very beginning, like, we cooperate with public sector and NGOs, and like, we want to make a more inclusive city for all people, regardless of nationality and religion. So now I want to talk about our contribution during the pandemic. So we have been trying to raise awareness about infection control through several activities. So first we have the bridge builders. So on your left, you see a picture of 2 of our bridge builders. So they have gone through this course in civic participation and outreach towards immigrant communities. So that means like they've gone through training from the Norwegian Institute of Public Health when it comes to infection control. They've also gotten training in other themes as well, like labor law, sexual health, mental health, volunteering, and etc. So what they do is that they share this knowledge with their communities in the languages that the communities speak. And they've also made videos about infection control into many languages, and we have shared them through our social media, and they've also been shared on the website of the Norwegian Institute of Public Health. Secondly, we've had a helpline where we reach out. So it's not people calling to us, but we actually reach out to them. So we have called more than 700 people and providing them information about infection control, as well as other social services that we can provide. And I will offer more details on that later. And thirdly, we have a Christmas calendar quiz on infection control. So based on our helpline and the knowledge that we got from the bridge builders, we see that we experience that that immigrants have, mostly good general knowledge about infection control, but that there is some confusion about certain details, and that is also because they get information from other countries. So we saw the need to have a quiz about infection control, making sure that we would reach out to even more people and just like clear up these confusions. So, and the winners would win reusable face masks. And then the fourth thing is that we have used our voice very actively. Like, we have been active participants in public debate through both our own and earned media. And it's been really important to us to bring forth positive representation of immigrants during this pandemic, like how the immigrants are stepping up and taking responsibility to raise awareness about infection control. And further on, we have another activity, which is to create sources of income for unemployed immigrant women through this project called Face Masks with Meaning. So on your right, you see a picture of 2 of our participants. And these face masks are either sold by the bridge builders as a do outreach, or they raise awareness, or the face masks are donated to families with low income. And all of the income go directly to the immigrant women. And lastly, we have seen the need to cooperate with other NGOs and also private sector during this pandemic. So I just want to list some of our partnerships. So we offer career counseling in collaboration with JobbX. We provide free counseling in collaboration with Vikvizde. And we also provide free legal aid in collaboration with Insolidum, who is a law firm. And we had weekly online yoga classes in the spring, like during the first lockdown in Norway, and then also daily online courses. And I would just like to end with you all just sharing that we had the immense honor of winning the Oslo Award for our efforts during the pandemic. And we share this award with both like our bridge builders and with our seamstresses and volunteers and partners. So thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, and thank you a lot, and congratulations for the prize.
Thank you.
You could see, yeah, so thank you very much. And now it's time for your questions and answers for your questions from the panelist side. So we will start with Faridah. Here is a question for you. I will read it out loud for all participants. So Faridah, do you try to empower children with disabilities and encourage them to be self-advocates, so to stand up and speak for themselves? And probably also the question is, how do you do it?
Okay, thank you. First of all, most of the children who are disabled need a voice. And in most cases, that would be almost impossible. So some of them who are capable of communicating and understanding what all this work and the dedication we are doing are able to get that chance during the film festival. The film festival brings together both those who are disabled and the non-disabled people together, where we actually have themes. Each year during the film festival, we have a theme. And during that theme, we invite schools, we invite kindergartens, we invite politicians, we invite normal people, parents, you name it, the whole society gathers together. And during the days, for example, for the kids, because the film festival is 5 days, and 4 of those 5 days are dedicated to children, where they have activities, they are watching movies, and we have discussions. This is where we use that opportunity to raise awareness and show films and engage children into these conversations. And some children who are able to communicate would say, some of them, for example, during this declaration, they have got so much information about the declaration, where some of the kids have got some kind of understanding what this is all about. And they say, I am not a divine punishment. I am blessed and I deserve to be here. So we are creating awareness to the children in order for them to advocate for themselves. But of course, some are very, they're in a state where they can't be able to advocate for themselves. And this is where we come in and give them a voice. And we have also, we use those opportunities to engage the parents. The parents are into this very much, as they are the ones who actually get to hear all this kind of stigma that comes their way, whether it's about their kid or the one that is a grown-up in that family. And these parents have been encouraged, and they have been also motivated to speak up. So they get to say yes when we ask them to, let's make a video of you telling your story and what kind of challenges you're going through. And lately we have now, this year, we have got support from the government, from the Ministry of Children, where we are going to actually try to make this whole declaration available for the children. That way it is going to be kind of a movie, and we're going to do a lot, even books. As you see, I started in 2020 with books, so more books are coming. That way we are going to engage the children in order for them to read about this, and so they can become better advocates for themselves. But at the end of the day, the children who are disabled need our help and they need our voice.
Okay, thank you. That's really important. And also, like, second time I'm amazed with your approach, and also like how you deliver also advocacy and to the group you're working with. So thank you very much. And now it's the question for Elsa from Free. Now I know it's Free. So the question to you is about how do you as an NGO cooperate with the police? So who is initiating the cooperation? How is it going? And in what types of initiatives do you what types of initiatives do you cooperate? So is it broader than the Pink Competence Project? Elsa, floor is yours.
Thank you, and thank you for a very good questions, Joanna. Our cooperation with the police, I think I could say, has developed over time. when we started up with Pink Competency Justice in 2010. I think we both then did and do now quite a bit of research to find out who good allies can be. When we started up, it was they did a lot of work finding some good allies then, who then also could provide us with knowledge about who's in the force, who could be good contact persons in different parts of the police. So it kind of one person could generate another contact, and then another contact, and then so forth. So it's I would say it's absolutely a process that's gone over time. The initiative for these corporations, I would say is us, where we have to we have to reach out and keep our contacts, keep good contact with everyone we cooperate with. And find good working points, and it's working very, very well. I do feel like Pink Competency Justice work on hate crimes has been like the how things have started, but we see now also that some of our contact points get in touch with us when they have questions regarding things like how the workforce is internally, like working conditions and so forth, when it comes to subjects regarding gender and sexuality, which is great. So that's part of it, the hate crime work, as well as, of course, the organization more as a whole when it comes to the Pride festivals and the Pride parades, where for security issues, it's important to have good contacts in each region there regarding that. So it is broader than the Pink Competency Justice Project, absolutely. But we can see how our work with that also helps in with our contacts with the police regarding the Pride festivals and the Pride parades as well. So if we're having issues regarding that, our contacts otherwise with Pink Competency Justice can help us out. So it kind of all is all kind of like intertwined in a sense. So I hope that was a okay answer to your questions.
I wish I could say the same about Polish police, or like at least cooperation between the Polish police and the organizations taking care of sexual minorities in Poland. So I know that you are also partner in one of the projects already in Active Citizen Fund. So fingers crossed for changing the reality in Poland using your experience, of course. So thank you very much. And now we have the time for Kim to answer a question asked for the municipality of Kristiansand. So Kim, do you have a particular unit in your municipal office focused on cooperation with local minorities? And how are you able to keep in touch with leaders and representatives of so many immigrant communities?
Thank you. As I said, we have a department that is working with dialogue with the people who are living in the municipality. And in that department, which is culture and dialogue, I have been working in the municipality for a long time, since 2013, especially assigned to work with the immigrant population. So what I basically do is I try to have a lot of meetings with all the religious organizations, especially the Muslim organizations, but there are a lot of the people from Eritrea. They also go to Christian churches, and then I try to have as much contact as possible with all these 60. I would say about 25 of them are really active. So these are the people that I know, and then everybody else knows how to contact me. I think the most important thing is that the municipality showed that they think the issue is important, and they created the kind of job that I have, which is a very low bar for people to get in contact with the municipality. But I don't work with people, I work with organizations.
Okay, I see.
But I would recommend it. It's a very fun job.
Mm-hmm. So I wish that this message will be will get to Polish municipalities also, like this approach. So thank you for that. And now we have a question to Ingvild and to her organization activities. How do you encourage the participants to support the LINK's work? Do they contribute to planning the activities? How do you know what the Oslo inhabitants with migrant background need? Do you have any initiatives to get their feedback, check what is currently needed? Oh, a lot of questions.
It's a lot of questions, but that's great.
Thank you. For sure.
Thank you. I think I would like to answer the first few questions, and then I would like Agneta to answer the ones about how do you know what the Oslo inhabitants with the migrant background need, and the last question, because she's the one who's responsible for the helpline, so she is the one who is in direct contact with those people. But so to answer, how do we encourage the participants to support the LINK's work? I'm not sure exactly what you mean by that. Do you mean like participating in our activities? Is that what you're asking? The person?
I mean, not only participate in the activities, but also to run the activities.
Okay.
To be more active than just playing participants.
Now I understand.
You in organizing everything.
Yes, so we do have this one activity which is called Bridge Builders. So the part when they do the outreach, like they are very independent in how they do that. Like they, so they are doing outreach on the main square. So they have like the main responsibility and like raising the awareness, and they have had a big part in like shaping, like how we talk to people, and yes, and they also have a big part in when they share knowledge with their communities. For example, they share videos, but they also, they're really great at just transferring information. Like they're really good at just like bringing forth needs among their friends. Like they will very often like, hey, we see this and this need, we have this and this question, like how can we solve this? So like they're really good at like bringing forth cases, and they are in a way like shaping some of the training that we do through that, because like we're like emphasizing that very much, that this is supposed to be applied, and we're asking them to be very active in that sense. Yes, and I think maybe Agneta, if you could answer the next two questions.
Sure. So I started working at LIN after this summer, the 2020, and my job has basically been to call every over 1,000 participants from before and the ones that are there now to ask them if they're okay, if they need anything from us, if they have any questions about the corona. And in this way, we sort of reached out to a lot of people that don't have the access to this information. They lack maybe language. They haven't been living, or they have been living in Norway for years, but they haven't got a network, proper network. And we offer them, like Ingvild mentioned before, juridical assistance, assistance with the bureaucracy of the welfare state. We offer them conversational therapy and a lot of other stuff. And these people might not have known where to go before, but when we call them and we start nagging at them about all these things, they start to open up and express their needs. And they might not even know that they have a juridical problem, or they don't know that they need to talk to somebody. So I feel that through this, through our way of searching for, or like oppsøkende, where you go to
outreach.
Yeah, outreach. That's one way of sort of mapping the landscape. We have more than 1,000 previous users, and we've reached out to them. And they're all from different countries: Poland, Lithuania, Nepal, Bangladesh, like every corner of the world. And they've been with us because they don't have access to other language courses. We have it for free, and you don't need the right to go there, right? So we have access to corners of the immigrant population in the Oslo area. And I feel that through doing what we've been doing, we sort of we take in new proposals or new needs, and we listen to our previous users and our present users, and get the information from them by offering them what we have. If that was an answer to your question.
Very good.
Thank you. Actually, if you can tell me, how long did it take to call or the previous participants and the participants?
It took surprisingly little time. I was like, oh my God, when I first had the list, I thought it would take forever, and I wasn't even sure that we would manage within the year. But we had help from one volunteer that was actually part of the previous Bridge Builder team, and she wanted to continue working with us and contributing. So she helped me a little bit, and I guess I called half or whole days, like 2 days a week. And of course, not everybody picked up, and some of the numbers from 2018 were obviously not available in reach. But it didn't take so much time, and now I'm on the mission of calling the ones that didn't pick up the phone, and it's always nice to call people, I can say. I expected the 2018 participants to be like, why are you calling me? It's 2 years since we ever was in touch. But they've actually been very grateful for having somebody calling them. And we have had a lot of people needing juridical assistance, and it's basically been a very positive thing, I have to say. Yeah. And yeah, we're finished with the list.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Would you like also to add something, Ingvild, or?
I think she did an amazing job. So yeah, I'm good.
Yeah, you are a great team, by the way. Cooperation. Yeah. So thank you for answering all the questions and taking the floor. I see that we have like a very flattering feedback from one of our participants, from Tomasz, who wrote that it's in every case presented today, the thing that strikes to him the most is the clarity of vision as to how to approach the problem at hand. It is very inspiring to see this very direct approach. No, there is no invasiveness in your actions, and I think that translates into the great effects that you were able to present to us today. And I couldn't imagine a better conclusion of today's meeting. So thank you for your time, for sharing your experience, and also like the motivation to work even in this like hard, unpredictable times that we are facing now. So I will wish you all the best, and I have to ask you, what's the weather like in Norway now? Because I'm looking at the window, and in Poland, yesterday we had in Warsaw our first snow this winter. So what about you?
It's snowing today. It's snowing today for the first time, but it was short, but it snowed.
Okay.
I live in the south, so it's rain.
Okay.
It's rain in Oslo too.
Okay.
No snow.
So yeah, I wish I could share the snow with you, but it's probably already gone. So maybe I don't have anything to share. So thank you very much. Have a nice afternoon, wonderful weekend, and dear participants, thank you for watching us. Please follow our Facebook profile and website. Soon we will have this video with Polish subtitles and also translated into Polish Sign Language. So, so I wish you fruitful cooperation with organizations from donor states or other beneficiary states, and all good luck in applying to submitting your applications to the Active Citizen Fund, and hopefully we will see each other not online but offline one day, and for example we could host our Norwegian guest in Poland one day. So thank you very much and have a wonderful afternoon, and thank you once again for your time.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.